Here are the top 5 mistakes that beginner esports coaches make. With number 1 is that they try to focus on everything. So when they do a VOD review or try to coach, they try to fix every single mistake at the same time, and it will simply turn into a yap fest. So just focus on 1, 2, 3 solutions or patterns or areas, and that's it. That is done for your coaching session. Mistake number 2 is a be like me coach. So maybe you have been a player before and you had your certain approach. Maybe you were a very aggressive and vocal player, and now you teach everyone else to also be aggressive and vocal. You have to understand that each individual is different, and you have to adapt your approach towards the individual and not coach them like you wanted to be coached. Mistake number 3 is like to give solutions. Now you think, Donnie, what are you talking about? I'm a coach, I should provide solutions. Yes, but you want them to find the solution, because if you provide the solution, they think like, okay, that's nice, and they basically start to rely on you, especially when you're working in a team. And eventually, when the stakes are high, they only look at you and they cannot solve their own problems because you have basically primed them in a certain way. So instead of basically giving the solution, you want to ask questions that leads them and let them create and think about their own solution. And if they can do it, then just give a couple of options. And finally, if they really cannot figure it out, then only then you should give a solution. And if they can do it, then just give a couple of options. And finally, if they really cannot figure it out, then only then you should give a solution. Then mistake number 4 is when you're doing tryouts or you're building your team, you only select for skill. Too many times I've seen, and I've experienced myself too, I've been guilty of this, to only select for skill, that we think, okay, this is the best player, so we should pick him. But think about also the culture, the work ethic, and also how he can communicate and just gel well and build relationships with the team. That is super important and will make or break your team. And then mistake number 5 is too many players start with the professional view. So they watch like the professional players play. They have like meta compositions. They play a certain way and they think like, okay, because they play it in that way, that is the best way. But honestly, your players are probably not as good and skilled, so they cannot figure out these complex strategies and tactics. So you have to simplify it. You can get inspiration from the professional play, but if you try to bring in the professional POV into your coaching, that is a big mistake, because your players will likely not be able to in order to execute on it. So those are the top 5 beginner mistakes esports coaches make. So save this video for next time and thank me later. Ciao, ciao.